And welcome back to the Poris podcast. Thank you so much. Before I get started today on our amazing story, the news coming out of Iran, this is something where everybody should be looking at. But before, again, make sure to hit that subscribe button, click on the little notification bell, comment, like, all of those good fun things. Anyway, let's get right into it. Today in Iran, day 10 of the protests, and things are amazing. I just want to start off by saying the Persian people are an inspiration. I think as an Israeli-American Jew, we've been saying this for a long, long time, that we have nothing but the greatest respect for the Persian people and the deepest sorrow for the tragedy that is the Islamic regime that they have been forced to endure. But right now, things are changing. I talked to an Iranian guy the other day who had his head in the sand. He's telling me, it's like 10 people. The media is blowing it out of proportion. Like it's nothing. But no, friends. Check this out. Thousands of people have taken over the city. Look at this. Hitting the streets. It's V for victory. The regime is fleeing, according to many reports, already planning their exit strategies. It is something to behold. I am truly amazed at the resilience of the Iranian people right now. They are marching through the streets with very little resistance. Many people in the regime, we have to imagine, have switched sides. Because for one, the internet is still up, and obviously we could say that Israel has had a hand in helping to keep the internet up. There are reports about Starlink being brought in, but in general, this could have been way more violent. This could have had a lot more opposition from the Ayatollah regime, and we're just not seeing it. We're seeing, again, some light clashes here and there. We can go into this video here. I'll check it out. Look at this. Right, you see in Tehran some fighting against some of the remnants of the besieged forces, etc. But generally, look at this. Flood of people in the streets. More than 20 have been killed, thousands detained, but people are not giving up. This is a nation refusing to surrender. World leaders, media, human rights organizations, don't stay silent. This is the city of Abdanan in western Iran. I hope I'm saying that right. Look at this. This is history in the making. From the reports that I've been listening to and reading, the common chants in the street, I don't know exactly what they're saying here, but the common chants in the street has been, long live the Shah, that we're waiting for the Shah to return, that death to the dictator has been a big one. Things have been out of control, and it's anyone's guess how this is going to end up in terms of, whether this will actually be successful in removing the Shah, or removing the Ayatollah regime, removing Khamenei. And even if they do remove Khamenei, what does the transition look like to a new Iran or a renewed Iran? But this is some very, very exciting news, and this would mean a massive shakeup in the region, truly. Imagine the Middle East without the Ayatollahs. Imagine no more massive funding and backing for Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas. Just try to picture that. Try to picture no more subversion of the tentacles of the Ayatollahs and what that would mean. This could be a truly peaceful, westernized in terms of ideology, in terms of Enlightenment values, mostly secular, forward-thinking, modern Middle East, right? Between Iran, Israel, Lebanon, without the influence of Hezbollah, and Iran is on the cusp of turning around and kicking out Hezbollah and retaking their country. the UAE, Saudi Arabia, obviously. I mean, these countries aren't perfect, but they are making massive changes to the way that they do things and to their orientation away from the Muslim Brotherhood and towards, modernization and secularization of behavior, of the way of dealing with the world, not necessarily in terms of their religion or their thought processes internally. But this is a very, very exciting time for the Middle East, and I'm here for it. There's so much more. Oh my God! I mean, seriously, the videos coming out of Iran are just inspiring, especially when we come out a couple years away of the Masa Amini protests, of the Basij forces and the Iranian Ayatollah regime murdering a woman for not wearing her hijab the right way. Because if we remember that she did have a hijab, it was just a little bit of hair was poking out. It just wasn't the right way. Not anymore. Check this out. Women in Iran defying the regime's morality police, forced hijab, and are singing in the streets. Seven Nation Army, perfect. This is so inspiring. Look at this. Look at the elation in the streets. Look at the excitement. Look at the energy. I'm here for it, man. Seriously, this is amazing. Yeah, and we have to say, love him or hate him, thank you, President Trump, and thank you, Netanyahu, because they paved the way for this. With the 12-day war, with both Netanyahu and with Trump saying we support the Iranian people, we support the people of Persia, we support the revolution, and Trump particularly telling the Ayatollahs, you better not go off and start murdering protesters or we'll be back. And I think that we understand after the strikes in Iran that Trump will put his money where his mouth is. And again, the Iranian people, don't take my word for it. Take theirs. Here we are. Thanks, Trump. This video to Trump was just sent to me from a woman in Iran. Her message: Dear President Trump, I want to thank you on behalf of all the Iranians fighting for our freedom right now today. No president in U.S. history has supported us like you have. I also want to thank you, Elon, for absolutely annihilating Khamenei on X. We're going through a lot of these days. People are dying. People are getting arrested. But that gave us all a good laugh. I salute Prince Reza Pahlavi, the Shah, the heir to the throne. Hoping to see you in the homeland. Long live the king. Am Israel Chai. Again, another nod to Israel and Netanyahu for the strikes in September. This is just something. This is really an amazing, amazing time for Iran. And I mean, can you imagine? Can you believe the fact that the media is mostly silent on this still? It's kind of insane. Think about what that means, about the fact that they just they don't care or they don't want you to know. I mean, one of the two. As of January 5th, Islamic regime in Iran cracked down against protesters over 9 days in 257 locations in 88 cities across 27 provinces. 29 killed, 64 injured, 1,203 arrested. 0 resolutions, 0 emergency sessions, 0 commissions of inquiry from the UN Human Rights Council. I mean, if you know Hillel Neuer, you know that he is on the UN and their hypocrisy. Particularly when it comes to their lack of condemnation of actually horrific regimes across the world, and their hyper focus on Israel. And again, I'm not saying that Israel is never worthy of condemnation or anything like that, but the hyper focus on Israel cannot be denied, and he has been calling it out for years and years and years. But going back to this message, this tweet from Illinois, 1,200 arrested, 64 injured, 29 killed. Not that that's not a tragedy, but that is nothing compared to what could have been. That is nothing compared to what has been done, right? Let's just think back a couple of years to the now late President Raisi, the butcher of Tehran, and the thousands and thousands of people that he committed to death, that he sentenced to death with his pen or with his hand. The torture and the hangings in the streets. This is so new to see this. I mean, seriously. Look at this video. Look. You have no idea what it means to face pure evil with nothing to defend yourself with. The people of Iran are incredibly courageous. They're fighting off the besieged forces. They're fighting off the morality police. They're fighting off the IRGC. And that's it. I mean, you've got people, armed groups, the Houthis, Hezbollah, and whoever, coming back into Iran, all hands on deck. But you have to imagine that there has been a shift within these groups, that they are turning on the regime. Otherwise, this would be, by all accounts, way bloodier. Look at this, in Tehran's Grand Bazaar, free Iran. I don't know what they're saying, but I guess it is enough something to be blocked out. This is something to behold, truly. Goldy Gamari, yeah, I believe a former parliamentarian in Canada, who has been a big voice on this, and she's had, a viral video that she had recounting the first 8 or 9 days of this that came out yesterday, the day before, and just showing what's happening and how it's being ignored. So she's been an amazing voice. If you don't already know Goldy Gamari's name, go and follow her. But yeah, I mean, she, I think, has been hesitant, but also very optimistic, as I am. I'm hesitant to call the end of the regime. Like, we've thought that we've seen the near end of the regime before, and it never materialized. But there's something about this that feels really different. There's something about this that feels really different, and really inspiring. And it's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. This has been such a shakeup. I mean, think about it. In the span of 2 weeks, the start of 2026, the Maduro regime overturned and flipped on its head, and now Iran, the Ayatollahs, and the Islamist faction that is one of the biggest terror-supporting networks in the world. And again, I mean, I talked earlier about Hamas and Hezbollah, but this could have major shakeups in Europe too. Think of all of the suicide drones that Iran was producing and selling to Russia. Think of the partnership between Iranian oil and Russia and China. This can have massive global implications, the likes of which I think that we are just not taking into account. I don't think we're really going to understand. But this is a cascade. This is the beginning of a cascade of what I hope and what I predict will be very positive changes for the world should the Ayatollahs actually be thrown out. And so this is just, yeah, I know I'm speaking a lot, but I'm pretty much at a loss for words. This is just incredible. Reza Pahlavi, the Shah, the heir to the throne, officially giving his instructions to the people today. I am sharing my call to action with all of you. This Thursday and Friday, January 8th and 9th, starting precisely at 8 p.m., wherever you are, wherever in the streets, or even from your own homes, I call on you to begin chanting exactly at this time. Based on your response, I will announce the next calls to action.
من اولین فراخوان خود را امروز با شما در میان می‌گذارم. همین الان.
My dear compatriots, over the last week I've watched your demonstrations closely, particularly those that are taking place today in the bazaars of Tehran. Despite the regime's ongoing violent crackdown, you are resisting, and it is inspiring. You've certainly noticed and seen that larger crowds have repeatedly led regime forces to flee and have increased defections to the side of the people. Therefore, it is critical to keep these demonstrations disciplined and as large as possible. Today, I'm sharing my first call to action with you. This Thursday and Friday, January 8th and 9th, starting precisely at 8 p.m., wherever you are, whether in the streets or even from your own homes, I call on you to begin chanting exactly at this time. Based on your response, I will announce the next calls to action. What's the chant? Alright, well, I guess that's a message that they already know what the chant will be. So, spread the word, I guess, to all of your Iranian friends to get out and chant on Thursday and Friday at 8 p.m. We'll see how widely these chants spread. This is a really inspiring time. I'm struggling to find the words for the excitement that I feel for the people of Iran. I've been, all the way back in Israel when I was living there for the many years that I was there in the news. I was part of groups on Facebook and other social media to bring the people of Israel and the people of Iran together on a grassroots level. And so I've been following this issue for a long time, talking to experts from across the spectrum, and of the many ways that a day like this could come about. But I don't think anybody saw it coming the way it's coming. Or if they did, maybe I misunderstood, but this is it. This is just huge. And it's amazing. One last video, and then I think we'll call it. I think I've made the point. Breaking day 10 of the uprising in Iran is already bigger in previous days. Not only the Islamic regime failed to secure the streets to prevent another day of uprising, they've also failed to intimidate people to go home. Today is chaos. Look at the crowds. Oh, here it is. So that's what I was saying. Police defect from the terrorist Islamic Republic and side with the Iranian. Reports are coming in that police in Abdanan Ilam have now sided with the people against the terrorist Islamic Republic. This is it. This is what we're waiting for. This is exactly what I was talking about, that it's just not possible for these protests to be so massive and so successful without regime forces changing sides and publicly. I mean, you can see these people, they're waving their hands at the police. They're saying, we're with you. This is just phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, we don't need all of these things. You're getting a lot. Apparently, the BBC is not covering the anti-Mullah protests in Iran because it has no correspondents on the ground. That excuse didn't stop the BBC from describing what happened in Gaza as genocide, right? Yeah, exactly. We don't have anybody in Gaza. It's definitely X, Y, and Z. It's definitely forced starvation. It's definitely a genocide. But meanwhile, in Iran, you've got every camera in the world, but we don't know what's happening. Pathetic. If you didn't hate the BBC, then maybe today's a good time to start. Here's one. Okay, actually, last video. Here it is. Video from today in Tehran. The fact that the crowds have only grown in size in the protests of Iran after the regime offered Iranians $7 a month, which is insulting, given how much they give Hezbollah operatives per month, is a gimmick to placate them, is very telling. Look at these crowds. If this doesn't warm the cockles of your heart, then I don't know what does. Jeez, look at this. And again, if you think that this is an economic protest, if you think that if we just stopped the sanctions and we allowed the rial to rise, that all of this would go away, I don't think so. I think this is the straw that broke the camel back. Goldie said the same thing, talking to Glenn Beck, and she alluded to as much in her now viral video, which is only about like 15-20 minutes or something like that. So please, I urge you to go and check that out. Maybe I'll do a reaction to that too. Let me know if you want me to review it in the comments. Just amazing. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. This is just an incredible time to watch the Middle East. I have very, very high hopes and amazing expectations for the cascade of positive consequences that will evolve across the Middle East should the Ayatollah regime fall. And again, that goes all the way to Lebanon, to Russia, to China, to everywhere. I mean, to everywhere. Everywhere that Iran had its fingers. And this goes into the West too. How many times have Iranian operatives tried to assassinate Western leaders or have assassinated dissidents in the West? Right? Like we saw a picture of him earlier, Nayak Gorbani, the Iranian dissident, amazing guy, amazing voice, who fled originally to Germany and then later to London. These people have been targeted for calling for this revolution. And it is about time that I think their calls were heeded. So this is just incredible. Again, subscribe if you haven't already, if you enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed walking through day 10 of the Iranian protests with me. And if you want to support the channel, please and thank you. Like and comment and share. I love you guys. Take care. All the best.